Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Designs by Dana. This is Dana and I am a Close to My Heart consultant as well. I'm currently working on the 30-day sketch challenge by Christy's Beautiful Life. This is the sketch I'm working on today and it is designed by Jessica Franco. What I like about this particular sketch is it does allow for 4 different photo wells. A lot of the sketches for single page layouts only have 1 or 2 photos on them. So I'm excited that this one has 4 different photo spots. So the pictures that I've picked out for this project are these pictures, and I've already cut them down to 3x4s and I've matted them on sapphire cardstock. And this one here, I actually had an extra photo. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe include a flip flap for this one here. So those are the pictures I'm going to be working with. And this is my great nephew here. And this was a trip that he went on, I believe actually to the pumpkin patch, but what he liked more was picking the apples and eating the apples from the orchard. So that's what I'm going to work with here. So most likely I won't be working and adding in the florals and the butterflies. I'm thinking more like apple trees and apples. So let me get this out of the way and clear off my space and let me see what I can get created with this. We'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with my Versamat and I'm going to lay down my base page, which is a pattern paper, although it's a little bit hard to tell. I'm going to start by dry fitting everything down on the page. I did design this layout in Cricut, so I do have something to refer back to. But as I dry fit, I do want to make sure that I leave enough room for my photo mats here on the right hand side because it is a little bit of a tight fit. So I'm going to bring in a couple photo mats just to make sure I have my spacing correct. One of the things I really like about this layout is I did use pattern paper, although some of them are retired colors, on everything with this layout except for my offset for the title. Other than that, every piece of paper is pattern paper. Now I did want some clouds in my sky, but I didn't want to stamp on this layout. So I pulled out a blue ink pad and my blending brush, and you can see I'm adding a cloud-like effect behind my trees. And that worked out perfectly. So I have a little cloud halo coming out of the trees, and I like to do my effects, in my visual triangle. So I'm going to add 3 little peek outs here behind the trees. Now the color I'm using here is Carolina ink pad, and it is also retired. So what I like about these sketches is it really gives me a chance to use my stash, and I don't feel like I have to always use current product. For the apples that I'm going to put on the tree, I came up with a hack here because they're all different sizes. So you can see I'm pulling 1 apple from each mat, and I can just glue that together, and I don't have to worry about pulling them all off and then trying to match up the right size of the background with the foreground of the apple. I have a couple other hacks I want to share with you. For my title, when I'm doing alphabets, I like to use my adhesive sheets, and that essentially will turn that into a sticker. So I pull back my adhesive sheet and then I adhere it to my paper or cardstock. Once I run that through the Cricut, then I basically have a sticker to work with. I ran that through, and you can see I already did the picking part of the title, and now I'm going to do the apple part. So I pull out the A, and I'm going to peel the backing back. Then I put that onto my offset. The next thing I'm going to do is pull back the backing for the rest of the word, just for the letters, of course. And I'm going to do that very carefully. And that will allow me to turn that back over and align everything back onto the offset by using that A and align it all together. Once I've done that, I can press that down and then pull back the negative part. All my letters are in proper place. Perfect. I don't know how I thought of that hack, but it sure made it simple for me. Another hack I wanted to share with you is my grass for the bottom of the layout. Now you know with Cricut you cannot cut a 12-inch piece. So I cut a 7-inch and a 5-inch piece of grass. Then I'm piecing it together, and I'll trim off the excess once I'm completed, and you'll never even know the difference. So there's a few hacks that I like to share with you for this particular layout. Now we can start embellishing. Okay, so we're back and I have everything glued down and ready to embellish. You can see I have this cute little basket that I added down here to put some apples in. So I'm pulling some of the apples out, and most of them do have foam tape on the back of them, and some of them don't, that I'm going to glue in and tuck in here. But I want to go through these and try to save some of the smaller ones for the tree, especially for the top of the tree. But they're all different sizes, which is why I showed you that little hack with the Cricut mats as well. Another thing I wanted to mention while I'm going through these embellishing the apples is the layout, as I mentioned previously, is made with all pattern paper. But I also inked all of the edges of the pattern paper. So normally when I ink my edges, I will pick just one color to ink all the edges of the paper, like a neutral, maybe a gray or something like that. In today's case, I inked each piece of paper with its coordinating ink color. So for this main tree here with the apples, that's a New England Ivy pattern paper. So I inked it in New England Ivy. For the strips down the right, that is Gold Rush paper. So I inked it in Gold Rush and so on. So that really gives this layout a little bit more definition and pop. So I'm just adding these last few apples down here at the bottom, and that will do it for the main embellishing. And then the last thing here will be to add my flip-flap component. So what I like to do is actually adhere my two photos together before they go in the flip-flap, and that just keeps them from sliding around a little bit. And then I can put them in, and I'm just going to double check and make sure that I have this in the right orientation, and then put my journaling piece underneath. Now you can do this with a photo or a photo mat or journaling card, whatever the case may be. And you can see here that besides the cat getting in my way, I do like to kind of cut those corners in because my picture is just a little bit smaller inside there. Now, one of the things I like to do is make this all one piece so it's a little bit easier to put down. So you can see I put some adhesive under that flap, and then I can put it down all as one piece. So it makes it just a little bit easier for me. And normally it lines up very well, but you can see here it didn't work as well as normal. So I'm just going to pull that up and reposition it, which is the great thing about the Tombow Mono Air, is it's so easy to pull up and reposition when you need to. Now I have these red dots that I thought I might use for additional apples on my tree, but I decided it really doesn't need anything else. So there we go. Okay, so we are back here with the finished layout. I will pull the sketch back in and we can take a comparison. So you can see I did vary quite a bit from the sketch in taking out the flowers. I kept my 4 photos similar to the same layout, but other than that I made quite a few changes, but I'm really happy with the layout itself. And I did add that flip flap, so I can go back and add some journaling here when I get some more details about the photos and the particular day and outing. So I hope you enjoyed my video, and I hope you like my layout. If you have any questions, please let me know. And a reminder to please hit that thumbs up like button and the subscribe button. That really helps me out, and it lets YouTube know that you'd like to see more of my videos. And thank you so much for watching today. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.